I'm just gonna give it a second because sometimes it drops some frames in the beginning.
We love to see it.
Alrighty, I got I'm gonna give it a little more time so it can chill out. It's still at 12%. Um, Alrighty, let's get into this thing.
Good morning.
All right, this podcast is brought to you guys by fucking nobody because we're broke. We don't have sponsors. Yeah, let's give them a little rundown of what we got going on, guys. Gabe, I'll let you go ahead and take off with the reins.
So we got I guess on the agenda we got first off the intros. There's Ryan with the adult beverage in the Oregon shirt, even though he's an Arkansas fan. Colby's representing his true fanhood because he's with our fourth guest today at Bethany's picture in the background.
Yep, she is a very lovely woman.
So that's Colby in the far there. So I guess we're gonna hit the draft day for us. What we got going on in our league, the league history. Going through some manager profiles, the different people we got in our league. Going to look at the draft order, how our league ranks amongst, how each manager ranks amongst each other, our takes on it. Heading into the big offseason news, how it impacts our league, and then some different questions just getting thrown back and forth, looking at online, offline drafts, ADP on or off while you draft, some pick predictions for our league. Some hot takes.
Some disrespect.
Very much disrespect.
Yeah, a lot of disrespect. Yeah.
Very nice. Should be good to note, too, that this is the first year we're doing keepers. We got 2 keepers apiece, so that's 24 players already off the board. Ron, how do you think that's going to impact the draft this year?
It's a fucked up draft until round 6. Or round 7, I guess. Then your late flyers and your normal people you're going after. It actually makes sense then. But your early picks, guys that you normally get in this. I mean, there's gonna be some guys you would draft in the 3rd round that you're gonna be drafting in the 1st round. So it definitely doesn't feel well drafting a middle 3rd round pick with your 2nd pick overall. But that's what I was pulling up there. It's gonna benefit some people more than others.
I could agree. Yeah. I could agree with that, yeah.
Not to mention, it's going to be the first time for everybody, or for most people in the league. So there's going to be a lot of
it's the first time for me.
Mistakes made. A lot of mistakes there. Everybody makes mistakes on their first time.
Well, nobody wants Quentin to win at anything. However, just looking at the board here, I mean, he's probably feeling.
Yeah, and I can.
He's probably feeling himself.
I'm going to go ahead and say I'm sorry to the rest of the league. In advance, if I set Quentin up for a dynasty run here, that's on me. But I had to take that 5th rounder from him.
Not to mention, you're in a pretty position as well there, so of course you don't mind apologizing like this. This is that's fake.
I'm gonna give a shout out to Kroom in the chat.
So we're asking, we're like, hey, what changes the draft with a keeper? Well, Colby's got the 1st overall pick and is not gonna have a true, heavy 1st round.
It's Nick Chubb
guy on his team, and he's a 1st round pick. Fine. There's no, of course you're going to go with Chubb or Chubb or Zeke, but I mean those guys are fine. But to have the 101 overall, and then still you walk away with a guy that's going on the back end of the 1st. What's his ADP?
I'm looking at it right now. Hold up, let me pull it up.
I'm showing him ranked.
It's 107. 107 is his ADP. So not terrible. I'm definitely chubbing up though.
No, I mean it's just the way the keeper league works. Like I said, your first couple of rounds are just totally distorted. But I mean,
the first pick's a top 10 running back, not fringe top 5. A lot of people probably are high on him.
Don't you disrespect my man's like that.
No matter what, he's gonna be a top 10, but top 5 could go either way.
Who's this?
Nick Chubb.
Chubb.
Well, what do we say? What do we say? Finishes the number 9 overall and half-point PPR and missed 6 games in the regular season
Yeah,
last year.
basically 6 games. Yeah.
I mean, you can't be upset. Although I still, not to shit on WizKid, Beanie Weenie, but Chubb in the second seems like a auto lock.
Yeah, so basically what happened is I drafted Saquon last year with one of the first few picks. He got hurt, dropped him from the team, and before the end of the season, Bean picked him up, kept him with the 10th overall pick instead of keeping Chubb with the, what would that be, the 13th pick, the first one of the first few picks in the second round.
It'd be the 16th pick.
Okay, so yeah, I'm really glad that he made that decision. We locked our keepers in pretty recently, maybe a week and a half ago, and then the news broke that Cam Akers tore his Achilles and is out for the year. So Gabe, I'm gonna let you speak on that because you are the Cam Akers owner in our league. How does that make you feel, and what are you gonna do about that situation?
The drama starts early.
I mean, it don't feel good. I don't know what the right. I mean, what do you mean? Like that sucks. That automatically going into the league now, I'm automatically at a disadvantage. Like everybody's sitting there on their little level going into the season, and mine immediately just goes down. So I'm starting with a leg back. I mean, it's okay because now I mean at least it happened before the draft. This was to happen, after the draft, in between the little time I had before the season. That would really be a big change. But and I'm also glad it wasn't on my birthday. It was the day after my birthday that it happened. So. There's a silver lining.
It's
I mean, what it means though is I got to take a running back now in the second round.
But you're missing. Yeah, of course, and that was the last thing that I wanted to happen. But you're missing. So just for instance, you were talking about a 6th-round pick, a back of the 6th-round pick. So I mean, of course, it hurts because technically you're losing out on a guy that what you're talking. I mean, people are drafting. I've said before. I think he's way overrated, but. People were drafting him at like the beginning of the second. But, if you're talking about a 6th-round pick, you're talking about missing out on Melvin Gordon, like a Melvin Gordon pick, or maybe even a Ronald Jones. Like, it's not a season ending. It's not like
it's the potential of the dynasty league that I'm losing out on.
Yeah, his ADP is 201.
You would throw it down.
But I mean, if you think about it though, I either way, Derrick Henry and Cam Akers as your starting running backs, pre-injury, you're okay with, and I would have been fine drafting receiver for.
But you weren't going to.
Probably not because everybody stacks running backs, and I don't like the running backs after round 2 at all.
So what does that do for you long term? Are you going to hold him on your bench all year?
I don't know. Probably not. I mean, how do you do it? I don't know. It's hard to take up the spot. Our rosters are down. The size dropped, so that plays a disadvantage.
And maybe that would have been a valid discussion, pre-injury. Hey, if we're doing keepers, is it worth having an hour spot? But now after the Akers tear, man, I think we just
I'm not sure about it anymore, man. I think we're good where we're at.
Well, I think it's because you're scared, and it's okay. It's all right. Give me Derrick Henry, and that's all I need going into this season. I'm going to ride into the season on the back of Derrick Henry, and I'm going to be A-O-freaking-K. It's all right.
Hey, me, you, Wes, Bell, we all fucking took the same strat. We weren't looking for crazy, insane value. We just locked in our boys that we wanted on our team and said, fuck it. We didn't look to go and get, 4 rounds of ADP off or nothing like that. We just took the dudes we wanted on our team for the next season. And
what's tough about that though is CeeDee Lamb in the 8th round is what I could have also had.
I'm out. I've CeeDee Lamb in the 8th round.
If you tell me that you're in the 8th round and CeeDee Lamb was there, you would be like, nope, I'm not drafting him.
I'm not saying that. I'm just making my statement that I'm out. I don't see the CeeDee Lamb hype. So that's where I'm at with CeeDee Lamb.
So Gabe, you've flip-flopped in a matter of days. You're in on Henry again?
Dude, I have to be. Like, I mean, he's my keeper. Like, of course I'm nervous about him. Julio gets traded mid-season. I have to,
New offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I mean,
New offensive coordinator.
no matter what, after a season like Derrick Henry has, it's hard to repeat that, and he's getting older, so it's kind of and also you got to consider his health. They keep handing the ball 30 times. Law of averages says he's gonna get hurt. So I mean, of course I'm nervous, but he's my keeper. He's my first round keeper. You know what? And I'm riding. I just want y'all to picture first, like point of view. I just want you to picture Derrick Henry, the man child he is, shirtless, muscles bulging, and me riding his back as we go into battle. Because that's how I'm coming into the season, into this draft.
You can ride grown men all you want. That's fine.
Look.
Hey man, clearly you don't get him next year, so it's not a problem for you. But hey, Derrick Henry's 27 years old, bro.
That is true.
Running backs aren't forever unless you're Frank Gore.
He does have the benefit of playing behind DeMarco Murray for a couple years, though.
Guys, we're going to talk about people riding grown men. Let's talk about Kroom riding Uncle Sam.
Hey, no. We got to get our Kroom shit out of us, dude. I mean, that.
You know what?
Actually,
this is a perfect time to move into a little bit of our league history and looking at some of our people we got.
Yeah, take it away, man. Take it away.
We got some awesome managers in this league, and I guess one would prefer to be called an owner. We'll probably get to that a little later. Yeah, so I guess looking at the league history, Kobe, do you have the Yahoo? Are you able to show that
on stream?
Yeah, is that a?
Yeah, I could probably pull it up. I think I have it just pulled up on my. Oh no, I actually exited out of that. Yeah, let me pull it up. Oh, it's actually right here. Yeah, I got it. But I couldn't access everything that I needed to. So I mean, I can just click on everybody's team and like look at their profile.
A lot of that. I mean, if we're looking at the all-time rankings on Yahoo, which of course this factors in people's other leagues, not just our league. Of course, our league's the most important to I'd say our friend group, but when you look at it, though, the best players in our league, the rankings are, how's it go? Let's see. You got Ryan at the top. He's got an 825 ranking. Let's see how many with 11 teams. He has 4 trophies. That's almost 50%.
Last year was my worst year ever. And every aspect.
Ron, you don't know how it feels to have a worse year ever, dude.
Yeah,
Kobe, you did in what? Pretty recently, you were the man to beat, right?
Oh yeah, I feel like I always am.
No, I'll see. No, I'll give it to you because I don't. I mean, I enjoy beating you, but I do feel like you're the people's.
When
champ.
You get the chance, you feel like you're
the people's champ.
Yeah, obviously.
Kobe's a reformed loser. He's very reformed.
What?
I did take a step back last year, back to like 9th place, but.
But it was the Leonard Fournette pick, right?
I mean that, and then, yeah, I just don't want to talk about the draft last year. I did make some good moves after the draft, but I did set myself back pretty far.
Yeah, Kobe's got what? I think he got the one trophy. Right?
Yeah, I got 2nd place when Lamar won his MVP. I had Michael Thomas breaking records. I mean, it was a great year.
I forget who wins that year.
Can we get details on that team?
Yeah, I can actually pull that whole squad up on stream.
Pull that up. I want to see.
I know I had Austin Hooper tight end 1 that year. I mean, it was just a great year.
Who was the one that took it that year?
That would be Gabe.
Was it 2 years ago?
It was.
Yeah, 2019.
That was a good year.
Lost.
Why is Yahoo so bad?
Lost in the championship with Lamar Jackson, Michael Thomas, D.D. Westbrook, Nick Chubb, Leonard Fournette, Austin Hooper, Austin Eckler, Devontae Freeman.
Sheesh.
Nobody on the bench worth noting except for John Ross.
Fastest man in history.
Yeah, I mean, even if I played him over D.D. Westbrook, I'm losing that week. I mean, it was a fun year. I lost 2 games all year, and both of them were to fucking roommates. So that's hard to swallow.
And let it be known that year was the year that I picked.
Dude, I don't care who you picked in the second round. It's the name of your team, bro. It's the name of your team in the league.
Because everybody.
No. I'll give that to Gabe. Not to interrupt, not to be the crazy loud shouting guy. But I'll give that to Gabe because I did give Gabe a hard time saying how fucking idiotic he was. And I stand by it. If you do it again this year, I'll say the same thing to anybody doing it. If you draft a tight end early, do not fucking draft a quarterback early, or you're trying to fuck yourself.
Well, he did both of those
Unless
things,
you're
and
Gabe
Zach
and you
Ertz put
somehow
up
just fucking
5
luck
points
out.
in the championship. That's not why he beat me. He had a bunch of waiver wire pickups go off. That's just what Gabe does.
As I always do. As I always do.
And
That's
Tyler
what I
Boyd
do.
literally came in my fucking ass
Devontae Parker.
with 30 points.
Devontae Parker.
Devontae Parker needs Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Shout out to Wes Trent. Wes knows Devontae Parker has been that dude.
He actually hasn't been that dude until that year. That was his
Well,
breakout year, and then he
I
fell
think
back into nothing.
Wes says Kendrick Bourne scrub ass beat Watkins. And so here's the truth. Here's the truth. I did win last year, and yes, I have the best winning percentage in the league. However, I discussed this. I did discuss this. Me and Kroon played for the fantasy championship last year, and we scored a total of 168 points. Wes scored 186 points in the third place game.
Yeah, I can pull that team up.
Both of us. His lineup outscored both of us combined.
Now,
Granted, it was on the tail of Alvin Kamara, but
And Stephon Diggs.
just to give Wes a little shout out and give King Tilt a little love here. He did have a very, very nice team, and it is unfortunate he didn't win. But I feel like that's Wes every year, is it not?
Yeah, it is. And to add on to that
all
point,
the
I
time,
want to.
He either finds a way out to wait. He even finds out a way to fuck it up.
Yeah,
Make sure he fucks it up, or he has some insanely unfortunate shit happen to him. It's one of the two.
Look, Wes is the best drafter. He's the best drafter in the league. But then he listens to Kobe. And with that, I think Kobe has a little.
I forgot about this.
Kobe has a little sound bit to play
yeah,
for.
I got you, Wes. I got you. I don't remember exactly which one it is though. I think it might be this one.
King Tilt.
Yeah, that was the one. I do just want to say though.
Imagine Alvin Kamara has 68 fucking points, or 71 fucking points, and you're in the third place game.
He got 57, but
Wes,
whenever
jump off a
Dak got
bridge,
hurt,
bro.
I traded him as another top five quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. Okay, if he made it to the fucking playoff championship, he's winning. So I want to take partial credit for that, 100 and whatever points he put up, because you're welcome.
Dude, Wes would come in. Wes would walk in our little fucking office area. He'd be like, "Man, Kobe got my fucking head, dude."
Malding, literally, AccuGlide grease all over his hands.
Look, Wes is like the LeBron of our league because what happens is his team, he thinks it goes to shit, so he's got to dump it, and he's got to go to a whole new team.
And it's never been to shit once. True. I mean, he's had unfortunate shit, but Wes has never ever just had a shit team.
Exactly. That's why I say LeBron, because you're never happy when you see Wes as the guy you're playing that week.
I'm pulling up Wes.
Sit close to Wes during the draft. You always want to sit close to Wes during the draft. You might catch some little bits of knowledge.
Yeah, Wes,
Yeah,
I got to give it to you, man. You're probably the best drafter out of all of us, but
let's make this
you fuck it up somehow every year.
an interesting story. An interesting thing to look for this season, though, is like Kobe's in a different building than Wes now, right?
Yeah.
Wes, this is your chance, man.
I'm meddling though. I'm sending him job offers fucking left and right, trying to get him over there with me so I can get in that head again, man. I need that at work. I need that motivation to make somebody's team worse, not necessarily make my team better.
Wes is shooting a perfect 50% from the field on his fantasy performance. He's finished third place 3 different times.
And I'd say every time that he came in third, he traded his whole team and had some brand new team right before the playoffs.
Currently ranked 6th in our league.
Wes said, "I can't help Will Fuller shot steroids."
You can't deny though that was a pretty decent trade for him.
Well, let's.
I'm not trading for quarterbacks. I will fucking play Andy Dalton scrub ass before I trade for a quarterback. Stand by it.
I mean, it was definitely a great trade for me. It set me up.
I'm just not trading for quarterbacks. I'm not saying it's a bad trade for Wes, but Wes gets in this mode where every year, I mean, at least for the past 3 years, he's had a stacked team, and he's thinking, how can I just step it up another level? And he's doing this and he's doing this, and then he makes the trade, and then it goes to this.
Correct me if I'm wrong. He had, at one point, he had Kamara and CMC on the team at the same time, right?
Oh my god!
I'm pretty sure that's correct. And then he traded
I'm
CMC.
going through it. I'm going to find it.
Oh no!
And he was contemplating trading me both of those guys for dog shit, and I was down. I was literally down. I was so down. Yeah, the trade that I got with him right after Dak got hurt, it was Aaron Rodgers and Will Fuller for Calvin Ridley and Antonio Gibson before Gibson's breakout. So pretty
Hey,
fair trade, I guess.
And I don't want to shit on West too much, but I mean West does deserve to hear some of this. And Kroom also has a valid point. We're talking that shit. You know, he's got Diggs in the 6th round and Kamara on his team to start the fucking year. And fuck Quentin Shearer, but other than Quentin Shearer's team, I mean, I feel like West, you ain't gonna get much better start than those two on your team.
Which is right where the rest of the league wants him, somewhere
So
where
maybe,
he can fuck it up.
So maybe in some crazy fucked up world, King Tilt has secretly set himself up for success in his first year in this keeper league. I mean, maybe just maybe it's a possibility.
All right, we've been talking about West for a minute. Gabe, do you want to go ahead and move on to the next?
Yeah, I think we talked about a quarterback there for a second. I'd like to think that this kid had the best arm in the county, and I'm not talking about Dylan Beasley. I'm talking about Ryan Bell.
Slanging that thing.
That motherfucker, you know he slings it. So here's the thing with Bell. He's the new kid on the block. He's the rookie. His potential, Bell, it's so big. That's how we ought to put it to him. So the thing is I think Bell's going to be a good player, but I don't know what the hell Bell's going to bring to the draft. The league sources have told us that Bell has not even taken a look at a fantasy mock at all. So pretty interested to see how the kid's going to do this year.
And here's the thing about Bell. We've talked about we all know how Bell is. He's a great guy. Do we think he'll go after a quarterback with the distribution skills that really replicate what he brings to the table, because he can get it out there. You know, he can send he can. Okay, so Kroom's in the chat saying Bell is ready. So I don't know what to think about that. If Kroom's the one coaching him up, I mean, it could be anything.
If Kroom's the one coaching him up, we know Bell ain't gonna fucking get a trade in all year.
You know, this is a great time to go right into it. Next up, Jesse.
If Kroom's coaching anybody, he's like, fuck these motherfuckers and trades, dude. We don't take any even trades. We're out here taking heads.
Trade.
Hey, let's talk about trades all day so we can get absolutely nothing fucking done.
Kroom just wants a straight up bloodbath.
Kroom he's a 5-star manager.
That's correct.
But how many people did he let off to get those 5 stars?
You know, Bell could learn a thing or two about Kroom. I mean, Kroom always wakes up on the right side of the bed.
I tell you what, Bell truly out. There's some teams out here, and I'm not gonna. I think everybody's done pretty decent with their keepers. There's gonna be some people who are in a little rough spot. Gabe, of course, with Akers, but to start your team with McCaffrey and Waller,
yeah, like that's pretty good.
Like I said, no matter the, you're trying to, ideally with your keeper strategy, you're trying to pick out, and take the biggest value you possibly can. What's the biggest gap in ADP to a certain extent? But if you can just lock in Waller and McCaffrey, and even, he had the 2nd overall pick, but just to lock in those two, I mean, he really, he would have to really fuck up the draft to end, in a bad spot. I mean, just having those two on your team, those two on any given week in half-point PPR can give you 70 points on any. I mean, versus playing anybody.
Yeah, playing anybody. Kroom's another one. You're never happy to see Kroom on your schedule. I mean, I just feel like anytime. First of all, Kroom's 2nd in the league. What's he got on his career?
Kroom's got to be up there.
just Yahoo. It only has them because like he said, he changed his email. But ever since he changed his email, he's got 2 teams and 2 trophies.
I don't care.
Good. I'm glad he changed his email. Fuck Kroom. We can give him all the disrespect in the world then.
I don't
I mean,
care.
I have to look. Kroom beat me in a ship. I can't.
Okay.
But he's
Let's
also
talk
the
about that game. Let's talk about that game, Gabe.
No, let's talk about how Kroom is the most cheatingest son of a bitch in our league.
That's
He's
true.
the Christian Leitner of our league.
But you could never kick him out. I mean, he's the heart. I mean, he is the heart of Kroom is as important to this league as anybody else, and that makes me sick to say it. And I would fucking fuck him over in fantasy football any chance I had. But I mean, if this league ain't gonna go on without Kroom's bitch ass. I mean, we got to have him.
You're right.
Oh, we're not saying we don't want him in the league.
No, of course, no, we don't want him. Truly, is what I'm saying. I don't want him in the goddamn league. But I mean, we have to have him. I mean, what are we gonna fucking do?
Look.
Now we have to have him.
Yeah, we're stuck with him.
We are absolutely stuck with Kroom for the history of ever.
He wants to know how he's cheating. Does anybody want to remind him that he traded Aaron Rodgers to Dylan Moran?
I wasn't in the league then, so I can't speak to that. But I do know that was happened in a money league. May have been $20, but $20 is $20, and $20 back then.
Off that hometown money?
You be in Klosterman's tree in his parents' yard.
I mean, Kroom was probably the most well off of us in the league back then because, you know, he was making money hand over fist at hometown with the hometown Buck situation, but we don't have to go into that. We could talk about something else if you like. Literally our first league ever still happened, get shit on.
Well,
absolutely. So what's going to happen is Aaron Rodgers comes back and Kroom has this Mike Davis fucking kid who the more I read about, the more I'm fucking. He's the only dude in Atlanta.
Yeah.
He's the only dude in Atlanta. And
yeah, literally the only dude in their running back room. They have no offensive lineman. He's literally him and Calvin Ridley. That's it. Kyle Pitts.
They're flinging that thing. It'll be Todd Gurley last year, but probably a little bit better, actually. I think he'll be better.
He's pretty quick out of the backfield. He was impressive when McCaffrey was out. He was super.
Yeah, he was fine last year. He was pulling a lot of money off the waiver wire last year.
Yeah, no, he did great last year. Behind a pretty good O-line.
Well,
we try. That's what we were talking about. Fucking gosh damn it. We were talking about trying to plan a draft, and I'm just looking through here, and I'm going over everything, and I probably have manually entered in picks. I mean, at least a dozen times. And every time you get down here and you're like, I know exactly how this draft's going. And then you get to fucking Klosterman and you're like, holy shit, you don't have a clue. But Klosterman, in my opinion, also, I think I'm more happy with his keepers than mine.
We've thought about Klosterman a lot, especially in preparation for this show. There's a lot of things surrounding Klosterman right now. I feel like Colby just would have a lot more to say about it. All I know is I think Tyler, you never know. Tyler's the wild card. One of the wild cards.
I definitely would identify Klosterman as the taco of our league. I feel like, and we've talked about it before, he doesn't really give a shit about fantasy football. He just finds this is the easiest way to keep in contact with us and talk a little shit.
And he likes to gamble.
Yeah, he does like to gamble, but I don't really think he likes football that much because I don't ever hear him talking about it. He's kind of just indifferent when we're talking about trades. He wants to talk about something else, and I get it. He's at the bottom of the league, but that's where I am, and I'm locked in. Like I'm at the bottom of the league, and I can't get enough of it.
Look, maybe becoming a father will make him be more focused on fantasy. You're a bad cock. On his outside influences. Now what he's got is the baby, and he's got the and fantasy, and I think that's his second child right now.
A beautiful baby at that.
Oh yeah,
absolutely gorgeous kid you had.
Tyler, we're so happy. You're daddy cack now, so
big daddy cack.
Kobe, I think we got something for that.
Yeah, I've already played it.
Oh, fuck
Wes is asking odds that Mike Davis finishes as an RB2. What do you guys think?
As an RB2, I would.
I think it's probably the most likely.
60%.
Yeah.
Finishes as an RB2 every week would be like 10%.
No, I think on the year he could probably do it, and that's only
Dude,
because he's the only guy there.
On the year, he probably has RB15 upside. Like I think that's probably his ceiling. Like he's not gonna outdo RB15. But if you're Kroom and you lock in Mike Davis with the 9th pick in the 10th round and could potentially, like I said, he could finish as the RB32, but he also could finish. I mean, I just feel like we don't know. We don't know about the Falcons.
But even if he does finish as the RB32, that's still a starter. Like that's one of the best in the league still. I mean,
no. That's what I'm saying is I don't see a way unless something totally ridiculous happens and some awesome running back decide they want to go play at the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, Mike Davis is if he lands at your doorstep, you're gonna let him in. You know, I don't think you're gonna be.
Well, I'm not even making that point. I'm just saying I think. Yeah, like we said, there's no Julio, and you've got a Kyle Pitts, but he's a rookie tight end. Historically, rookie tight ends have not been good. How many rookie tight ends have been good? Travis Kelce,
Aaron Hernandez, the GOAT.
Aaron Hernandez, but I mean, just historically, rookie tight ends haven't been that good. I'm not going to rely on Kyle Pitts. Of course, you got Ridley, who some people have locked and loaded as like a top 4, top 5 wide receiver. So it might just be Mike Davis and Ridley, and you might see Mike Davis literally finish as like RB18. If I was putting money on it, I would say he's probably finishes at RB20.
Yeah, and I think he'd be happy with that.
At the 10th round, once again, as Krim says, you would nut.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow, believe it or not, the most receiving yards by rookie tight end is Mike Ditka. So.
Oh man. That was my second guess behind Aaron Hernandez.
Jeremy Shockey's on the list. Oh man, look at this.
Mike Ditka fucks.
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah! I think his mustache fucks, and then like that's like a separate entity.
Mike Davis's ADP is a 606. He's ranked around the 23 mark. So like I feel like he could. Which everybody's crazy about Darrell Henderson right now, but I think. I would have a hard time choosing between the two, but I think it's totally plausible that Mike Davis finishes over Darrell Henderson this year. Unpopular opinion, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Evan Ingram did have a great rookie year.
I was about to say, Evan Ingram, 6th most rookie yards in a season.
And he's ass now.
Hey, but, there's also two Philly guys in that top list as well. None of them are Zach Ertz, though. Round 2, pick 2. And speaking, I want to talk about another person that in our league, speaking of tight ends, Josh Kuntz, double tight end.
I thought you were going Michaela there. I'm not gonna lie. I thought you were gonna bring up Michaela. I wasn't expecting the Kuntz. You said tight ass. I just.
Oh, I didn't say. So yeah, we're gonna start with Kuntz. Kuntz with the double tight end pick. He picked who was it? Was it Kettle or yeah? It was Kettle, and then he followed up with Ertz.
Yeah, really shocking.
No, this was the year before last, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I think that's why we labeled him as the wild card in the league because nobody knows what the fuck's coming.
I think this is about. I really think that Kuntz is probably gonna have Najee Harris on his roster. Every time we do these mock drafts, it ends up going that way.
Big Steelers guy.
I don't know, but here's the thing with Kuntz: he is always at the end of the season. He's guns a blazing. He is just burning. He's blazing, and he's kind of like the Florida Gulf Coast. I'd like to say of our league, he makes the late run every year.
I mean, he's like, how in Flash there's Reverse Flash. He's like Reverse Wes because he trades his whole team but doesn't blow it up. Like he improves his team with those trades.
He got me just I guess it was last year. I traded him for Odell when Odell was coming off 2 weeks of injury and just slaughtered my team. I don't know why I'm in love with Odell and I talk shit about Odell. Like I've traded for him, I've drafted him, and I talk shit about him all the time. And even this year, I find him sitting in the 6th round. I'm like, I'm gonna probably end up taking him, motherfucker.
Well, if we're gonna talk about Ryan a bit, even though you are at the top of the league,
just for now.
First of all, if you love any receiver, we all know it's Julio and it's turf toe. We know that's a fact.
That's that cream of doom fucking shit there, dude. The most I literally had an additional $200 on a McCroom and then had to go to New York with him.
Yep.
No, and then I had to.
We were in New York City for New Year's Eve.
That was like the hardest pill I've ever had to swallow in my life. Maybe
Paying for Croom's whole trip to New York over a bet.
Croom's whole trip to New York City, and he came with me. It wasn't like I just like paid for his trip. I mean, we were on the trip together, and it was the absolute reminder of the whole trip that he won the league, and I paid for his fucking trip on New Year's.
Yeah, that had to stink. I mean, I thought living with Gabe after he beat me in the championship was bad, but yeah.
Oh, and Kroom wouldn't stop reminding them.
No, it never ended.
This beer's good. He made like, damn, this is expensive.
It was a nice revenge tour last year. It felt right.
I mean,
it did not feel right.
Let's talk about Ryan a little bit though. Let's not get off the topic now.
You know who that throne really belongs to?
Yeah, first off, you sit on a throne of lies. It was a COVID season. Does anybody count the Lakers?
No, that was a fucking bullshit championship.
Yeah, and first of all, we all know if anybody's gonna question a championship, it's Quentin. He's the boy who cried collusion. But really though, Ryan, like you sit on a throne of lies. Nobody accepts the Lakers championship during COVID. We're probably not gonna accept your championship.
Never will.
You do got Dalvin going into the season. You got Hawkinson in the 10th as your keeper.
15th.
That's fine.
15th.
It's fine.
15th.
Whatever. Look. You're gonna pick Michael Thomas. That's gonna be your second round pick. From there, I'm interested to see how it goes.
It's gonna be Myles Gaskin probably third round for you.
Julio will be there.
My next running back I'm gonna draft is gonna be in the 12th round.
There's absolute no shot Julio makes it back to him in the third.
Let him come. See if I don't draft him.
I don't think he'll make it.
He will raise you up on his turf toe.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. I like being hurt. I drafted Joe Mixon in 3 leagues last year, and I ended up having him on my roster in all 4 leagues by the end of the season. Absolute ass. The biggest heartbreak of the league. I mean, for weeks you're like, he's going to come back. He's not coming back. He's going to come back. He's not coming back. And you guess what? If he falls to me in any of these scenarios where I think, I mean, I'm going to draft him again. I mean, I just love heartbreak. I just love it. Just love turf toe. I love Mixon's bitch ass. I mean,
yeah, I'm a fan of Mixon too, but I can't take him with the first overall pick.
You sure cannot. That is Michaela's pick. If anybody, in case anybody's asking.
So we do have a question though, Ryan. So like with Bethany leaving the league,
leaving McCaffrey.
Well, here's the thing though, is she really leaving? Is this a co-managed team now?
Yeah, I think once you proposed, you kind of fucked yourself, man.
Like, here's a big question: if you all get divorced, does she get half of the fantasy team?
She gets half the earnings. She gets to pick half of the starters. I mean,
these are things you gotta think through, dude.
You kind of fucked up.
Well, Kobe, it looks like y'all are pretty serious right now, actually.
I mean, you already know that. COVID's over. I got concert tickets. I mean, yeah, that's a good point. She is still in the group message, so I think she's locked in this year.
Oh, yeah.
I literally was like, hey, you need to leave the group message now. You're out of the league. She was like, how am I supposed to get all my fantasy knowledge? Like, well, that's valid.
Look, I mean, there are, like, who are some former people in our league? Cole Bray. He's not in the
Cole
group.
Bray was actually not that bad, but that was funny because Cole Bray never really won anything, and everybody still fucking wanted to lose everything. Like, he was never he was never bad and he was never good, but everybody was like, every week you're playing Cole Bray, fuck you, Cole Bray.
There was Caleb Cecil. He was there for like 2 weeks.
Oh man, that was bad. That was a dark time in the league, and I still think he finished above me somehow.
That was when Kobe was on his before he reformed his losing ways.
Yeah, I had a few
and then
bad
Bethany,
years.
I think so. Kobe, how you feeling about this year? How you feeling? Bethany wasn't bad in the league.
No. Like we said, Bell's sitting pretty. He should not be upset with what he's got entering this
Definitely
season.
not. He should be happy. I'm feeling pretty
Especially
good.
being a Browns fan.
That's
too.
what I try. I asked a couple other. I asked Steven if he was interested, and people are like, I don't want to inherit a keeper league. And then I look at Bill's setup, I'm like, I would have inherited that.
How are you not going to want to take CMC?
You got CMC and Waller. People are, dude, in some of these mocks I've seen, especially even with like the fantasy experts, people are taking Waller in the middle of the second. That's crazy.
Wide receiver.
That's crazy. What did he finish the year with? I'm pulling it up. I'm pulling it up in our league.
He pulled up with good. That's what he pulled up with.
231 fantasy points in our half-point PPR.
His
That's
ADP is 307 currently.
In regular ADP, like not, of course, that doesn't pertain to our league.
And he is the second ranked tight end above George Kittle, behind Travis Kelce. Pretty good.
People are, the footballers said if you have the chance to take Kittle or Waller at the 2-3 turn, you do it.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean,
and only one of those guys is available to pick in our league. So,
and that's a big question too. I think it's a big question too in our league is where Kittle and Mahomes go off the board.
Okay, so Mahomes, you know how usually when the quarterbacks go off, it starts like the trend of quarterbacks leaving early? I don't think Mahomes is going to do that this year. I think everybody's expecting him to go high. So when he gets picked, I think people still know what they need. I think the only people that can take him are people who have two solidified keepers like Wes or Q. So, I mean, that's just the way I'm looking at it. I don't know.
I mean, how far do you think he'd fall?
Who? Mahomes or Kittle?
Yeah, Mahomes.
I think they could both go in the second round, and I wouldn't bat an eye.
I think that's expected. I wouldn't say that's fallen, really. Because,
No,
I mean, we're still running back heavy in our league.
I don't see a way he's if Mahomes is, which, and I say this, and I very well could be surprised. Like I said, we had Tyler Klostrom in our league and Josh Kuntz, who drafts two tight ends. So, I mean, for the love of God, there's no telling on the outcome of what's going on. But if Mahomes or Kittle was picked before the middle of the second round, I would be surprised.
Yeah, I'm not huge on Kittle just because of how physical he plays. And he loves hitting people in the mouth. So, I mean, yeah, you get the positional advantage when he's healthy, but he always gets hurt because he fucks people up. And he fucks himself up. I mean, he hits the fuck out of people. He loves blocking. I think he likes blocking more than he likes actually catching the ball and getting touchdowns, which is weird because he's so good at catching the ball.
Yeah, no, Kittle, and that's the thing. When he's on the field, you're great. Tight ends, you're stacked for the day. You already won a positional matchup. But and you're absolutely like right with the whole he gets injured. Yeah, absolutely. I believe in law of averages. He's been injured consistently every season. I think maybe this is the time. Maybe he makes it through a whole year.
Well, he's already done that. He broke Kelsey's record in like week 17 a couple years ago for the most receiving yards a tight end has had in history. I'm pretty sure Kelsey might have had it for a day or a couple hours. They might have played in like the 4:00 game or something, but I know that he broke it right after that. Don't get me wrong, Kittle is great, and I would love to have him on my team, but I don't want to pay the price.
Yeah,
for an injury-riddled career like that. I'll take my chances in the late rounds with fucking Irv Smith.
Gerald Everett.
Hey, no, there's a bunch of good names on late tight ends, but historically late tight ends, I mean, at least over the past, 4 years, very few have paid off. And here's just no, I'm also out on Kittle. And I mean, unless he came around in late third round, even in a redraft, I'm probably still staying out. But there is a scenario where you eat terrible crow and Trey Lance is the starting quarterback and Kittle is just
he leans on him. Yeah,
his ceiling is the tight end one. I mean, he could. I mean, if Trey Lance is whipping the ball around, I mean, Kittle's talented enough that he could outdo Kelsey. Would I put money on that? Absolutely not. Would I say that is going to happen? Absolutely not. But I don't know. I don't know that that's out of the realm of the possibility.
No, I think a rookie quarterback and a dependable target that's big and always open like Kelsey. I mean, or like Kittle is a great combination for a fantasy football roster. But if you're taking a tight end early, you have other guys like me who don't typically do that, and I could be getting stud wide receivers. Our format is 3 receivers, right? And we say we're running back heavy, but technically I think, and I'm starting to change my ways about that. I think we need to rely more on receivers because they're the focal point of our format. And if I have 3 stud wide receivers and a shitty tight end, I think they can cover up for when I have that matchup against Kittle and Kelsey, and they might not have a good week that week, and then I have the advantage in 2 positions, and one of them being the most important position in the roster.
Sure,
Yeah.
no. I mean, wide receivers are huge. Like especially I was going to say I listened to an argument the other day about hey, what's the best way to run your roster? And they said, oh, the more skilled positions, the better. And I think that's true, but I think for a fantasy league, to stay pretty neutral, you need to have at least one more receiver on your roster than you do a running back. Clearly, there's more. In the running back world, there's significantly less mouths to feed, but you were talking about like significant positions. I just want to say, Travis Kelce, he's a guy that I think if you have the 7th pick in the draft, in a redraft, of course, as Michaela, of course, she's just stays deep throating her boy, and there was no chance in hell he was going to make the goddamn list. But I think, looking at rankings and I think if I had the 7th pick, overall in the draft, and the top 6 guys that I would have ranked come down, I think Kelce is my 7th pick off the board.
You're taking Kelsey first round?
Yes. I'm taking Kelce over Tyreek Hill. I'm taking Kelce over Ezekiel Elliott. I'm taking Kelce over Aaron Jones. I'm taking Kelce over Devontae Adams.
That's interesting.
Yep.
That's a take.
I'm not taking him over Chubb or Barkley, Kamara, Henry, Cook, or McCaffrey. I think,
Well,
and that's probably it.
And that's it really boils down to like what your approach is with fantasy whenever you go back to like what the Kittle thing was, because at the end of the day, it's the risk reward. If you want to win fantasy, you got to take a risk at some point, and it pays off, right? I don't know. I think I don't know though. You taking Kittle that early, Chiefs line's falling off a bit. Mahomes coming off the injury. I think. Of course, I'm not going to doubt Mahomes. Mahomes is godly, but
Michaela can fuck up her draft with Jefferson and Kelce on her team and still have a chance every fucking week. I'm telling you.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's been consistent, but again, he's one of those guys that's getting older too.
It's if you can just not fuck your draft up, over the past 2 seasons, it's been this way. If you can you cannot fuck your draft up and you have Kittle on your team, or you have Kelce on your team, I feel like you're just leagues ahead. The dude in our casino league that was just so good, he had Kelce on his team. It's just that big of an advantage. That's what I'm saying with Kittle, is there's a world where Trey Lance just makes Kittle this separator too. And it's all about you're playing position to position. You're trying to, hey, we're looking at wide receivers. Can my wide receivers outscore his? And then you look at your running back. But if you have Travis Kelce on your team, you're just every single week, you win a matchup. You're never worried. It's the easiest giveaway.
And
I don't feel that way with quarterbacks. I feel like there's so many and the separation's not as much. But
historically in our league,
what did Kelce finish the year with?
I got it pulled up.
It's gotta be most. What would he finish at in the wide receiver standpoint? That's a better question.
He finished with 260.3 points.
So that's probably what the wide receiver 7, maybe higher than that.
Let me look at the wide receivers real quick.
You just said you'd take him over Devontae.
Yep, I am. It's right today. I am.
And I do want to make this point while you're looking up the Kelce stat. In our league, historically, every single championship has had one of both teams have had one of the top tight ends every time. Every time. You've seen Kelce, you've seen Kittle, you've seen Ertz the year he was breaking records. Kobe, like you mentioned, the year Hooper was tight end 1, boom, he was in there. Every single year in our shifts, there's a good tight end. And sometimes when I made it my very first year, I had Jordan Reed. And that was when Jordan Reed was the man.
Last year, Stephon Diggs had 265.1 points, so he would have been like.
Wes says a hot take. It's probably a hot take.
He would have been like wide receiver 2 or 3. I did get a notification though that the call's ended in 5 minutes, so we might need to start another one because I don't have the premium ship.
All right.
So I can exit out and start a new one, I guess, and just send the DM again.
That'd be a good one.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me get them in here real quick. All right. Well, this is actually pretty fun, and it's a lot easier to talk about shit than I thought it was going to be. Who we got in here still? I saw Stumpy in here. Try not to, like, talk over them because I think my mic is a little bit more predominant in the stream. So, everybody in chat, what's up? Sorry, I'm not ignoring you. I just don't want to, like I said, talk over them. I think you can win either way, Krim. It's definitely nice having one of them, but they're so far and few in between. Westy, you working tonight, bro? Oh, you're right, Grim. You're definitely right. It's a steep fall off once you get past like Mark Andrews. Kyle Pitts is a question mark. We'll just have to see how he does this year. Be interesting. Because he's one of those type of guys that can just take over too. I don't know why the time thing is so dumb. Yeah, whoever takes Pitts has taken a huge leap of faith that he's going to be what he has been in college. But the good thing for him is Julio's gone. So he's at least going to be the 2 or 3 option there. He could, I mean, just because he's a rookie, he could fall behind Gage. But he's definitely a playmaker. And he's something I'm going to keep my eye on him. But I don't think I'm going to have him on my team, so. All right, well, we're just waiting on Gabe now.
Surprise.
Yeah, that's funny, huh? Stream's kind of popping off. We had 12 people in here earlier. That was sick.
Oh, yeah. Call it George W. Zena. Hey, you want to say hi? Let's look. What's going on? All right, we'll get you in here.
Well, while we wait on Gabe, I guess we could We could talk about another person in the league we haven't talked about yet. I don't think we've talked about David at all.
I would say I don't know that we've given this title. I don't know if we've given this title to anyone else, but I would, in my opinion, David. David's always slept on, and David normally has a good team. I ought to pull up his career.
Yeah, he's one of those guys you go up against. You know, you're playing him that week, and you're not really worried about it as much as you should be. And then you turn around, and the playoffs are there, and there he is in like the fucking third or fourth spot, just sitting pretty.
Has a random stack that'll fuck you up.
Yeah, he's always got that.
He's got a decent. He's 42 and 36.
I know he has won the league before.
Yeah, David's won. Michaela's won. How many years have we been doing this now?
I think it's
I missed it.
this is going into the 6th season.
I missed the first season.
And we were on ESPN year one, I think, too. So we don't have records for that.
I think then this will be the 7th season then, because I wasn't here for the first year either.
But this is probably like the third or fourth year we've actually took it like super serious.
Oh yeah, this means everything. And I'm really like one thing that needs to happen in this league is we need to get like we just need to go on and just divvy up a portion of the pot, or we just add a couple little dollars in submission money, and we just dedicate that to getting a trophy.
Yeah, I'm so down. If I won in 2019, I was buying the most badass trophy by myself.
Well, the thing is I won it that year, and I lived with you. I just couldn't do it to you.
Yeah, I would have broke it.
I mean, I just wore my pride around the house, and I think that killed you. You were quiet. Kobe hit his room for a while during that time.
Kroom, I agree with you, man. The fucking rookie tight, the Kyle Pitts take, I think, is scary as shit. High risk, high reward.
Kroom's saying he'd rather have a belt. I don't know what I'd do with a belt.
The thing with the Kyle Pitts that I think makes him just so heavy is like, who are they going to throw to?
Calvin Ridley every single time.
That's not. I mean,
Russell Gage.
But there's a late round flyer.
Yeah, that's one of Quentin's boys.
But I just feel like no matter what, like targets are going to go to Kyle Pitts. There's going to be tons of targets. Where there's targets, there's eventually some kind of points.
Yeah. We've seen guys in the past, though, get a lot of targets and not convert them into catches. So, I mean, a target doesn't equal anything for you, really. It just is an opportunity.
Target's opportunity. I mean, I think when you look at the players that you're potentially picking up, that if you don't know, you're going to go exactly look at, like, all right, what's their usage? If they're a receiver, are they even getting looked at? You ain't going to. If you were forced to pick up a receiver going into a week and you're like, damn, they both put up, like, really low numbers, but one's only been getting 2 or 3 targets a week, and then one's getting 8 targets a week. You're going to pick the 8 targets because the ceiling's higher.
Yeah, he's going to get his opportunity. You don't take a tight end at the 4th spot overall in the draft and not throw the ball to him.
4th spot in the draft?
He was took 4th overall in the draft, right?
Yeah, no, Sorry, I thought you were talking about in our fantasy.
No, the actual NFL draft.
Hey, now, didn't they just draft? They just used the first round pick on a tight end. I mean, so it's proven.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Who drafted what's his name? Curly hair boy. Sorry,
Hayden Hurst.
Yeah.
It was Baltimore, wasn't it?
And no, that's who he's for now, right? That's who he's playing for now.
Or maybe the other way around.
He went to Atlanta.
You're right. Drafted by Baltimore, traded to Atlanta, but he was a first round pick.
No, they take him in the first round, but he's like the highest drafted tight end ever. He's like tied with somebody. You don't take a tight end 4th overall in the draft and not give him the ball. That was my point.
The best talent. They said a lot of the mock or like pre-draft NFL things said the most talented player in this draft was Kyle Pitts. They said, I mean, he's a receiver in a tight end's body.
Okay, yeah. So quick quiz. What do you have? What if you had to guess? What do you think Vegas has Granted, there's 17 games in this season, so it's different from years prior. If you had to guess, though, I think it's also important that we're looking at the value of teams. If we're talking about, hey, we got a rookie tight end on a team. Well, if you told me he was going to Green Bay or somewhere huge, hey, maybe I could get behind him. What do you think the Vegas win total on the Atlanta Falcons is this year? Take a gander.
Probably 5.5.
I'm saying, yeah, it's low. I think it's low.
Granted, hey, but there's an extra game this season, so don't get too distorted.
Yeah,
Five and a half this year is 6.5, or 5 or 6. 7.5.
7.5.
Which I think is probably high.
I think it's high too. I'd buy the low on that. I'd definitely go under. I just don't think they. No, I don't think they got anything going for them other than Ridley and Pitts.
Kroom says, "What if we do a mock while y'all are live?" I don't know if it's a good idea for us to do a mock of our actual draft, but maybe we could do a redraft. But fuck, we've already been live for an hour.
Okay, let's try to touch on the rest of the people in the league, and then we can end it with the rest of the shit we got on here. We've already talked about Bell, David, Kroom. We haven't spoke on Michaela, Q. We talked about Kuntz, Wes. Nothing about Bean. We've hit Klosterman. Haven't hit Watkins or Gabe. So Gabe, you could pick who we talk about next.
I think we need to go with David. I think David's a good person to talk about here, because the thing with David.
We just spoke about David while you weren't here.
Oh, well.
While we were waiting on you.
Bro, there's not much to say about him other than, he slept on, and then he has probably the most random guys. I don't know. We can talk about Quentin. This would be a good conversation.
All right, take it away.
Well, here's the thing with Quentin. If you look at the rankings in our fantasy league, somebody sits at the bottom, and his name's Quentin. And then, of course, there's going to be a reason for it. And that's the thing. Quentin always has a reason for why he's not winning. He missed the playoffs one year due to potential collusion, and claims that if the collusion didn't happen, he would win the league.
That was a wild week of trades, and that is the reason I'm pretty sure Kroom is not the commissioner anymore, amongst other little things. But yeah, he definitely does.
Yeah, that was a famous day in league history. Now I want to make it clear though, Quentin's smart. Quentin is a very smart fantasy owner,
and knows football. Been watching football.
Yeah, forever. Absolutely.
Avid Broncos fan.
And I sat by Quentin in several. I like sitting by Quentin during drafts. He's always got a good take on stuff. He's not. If he predicts somebody, even if they don't hit that year, they might hit a little bit later. But I don't know. There's just a lot of things with Quentin. We could go a lot of ways here. Kobe, you got anything you want to say?
Yeah, I find it's weird that he doesn't draft more Patriots because he's so racist. You'd think a guy like that would have some Pats on his team, but he never does.
Literally, if you look up his team name in our Yahoo right now, it's German. The team's name is in German. You ask what's Quentin's favorite number?
9. Another point. Something I will say, we'll all be eating crow when Aaron Rodgers ends up being a Denver Bronco. You want to talk about Quentin's Max talking shit?
There's no way. There's no way he ends up at Denver.
I think there's probably only 2 teams that he could go to, right?
He's a Packer for life, dude. Come on.
There's zero shot that Quentin would not give us.
I think he'll retire before they trade him.
Yeah. See, I don't know. He just turned down, apparently, was a 2-year biggest contract in league.
Yeah, it was going to make him the highest paid quarterback in the league per year, not over the length of his salary, I don't think, but per year basis. So, I mean, that just goes to show where they are. I mean, they want him there, and he wants out. He's under contract, so the only way to get out of there is pull a Brett Favre and retire. And I don't think he's willing to do that after winning an MVP. Come on, man. You just won MVP.
I
Well,
think he is.
Quentin has had fucked up year after fucked up year / traded his team / he's got some king tilt in his blood. However, I think most people would be in agreement with me and say if you're looking at his setup this year, Gibson in the 8, Taylor in the 4th.
He's solid.
If he
There's some
fucks this up, he's never gonna live it down.
He'll still fuck up this year. Quentin ain't gonna win this year.
I think it is worth noting that he traded me his 5th-round pick to acquire Gibson. Just to throw that out there so everybody knows. But I think it was a good trade for both of us, honestly.
I mean, I think you both I don't know. You don't take a trade unless you think you're getting something from it. So I think
especially
most people who look at it will agree.
well, this is different than trading player for player live in season 2. I mean, when you're talking about trading picks, I mean, for Colby, he's looking at, do I keep Ridley or Gibson? Well, if he doesn't keep Gibson, then he just hits the waiver wire. This way, everybody gets. But as Colby said at the beginning, he apologized in advance. He potentially gave Quentin a little bit too much.
I potentially handed Thanos one of the fucking Infinity Stones, and he added it to the gauntlet.
He takes Devontae Adams with the 6th overall pick.
Yeah, and then Rodgers comes back and he snaps his fingers and we're all fucking dust.
Yeah, I mean,
but if my money's against Quentin winning, I don't think I'm gonna say Quentin doesn't win just because I don't want to listen. I don't want to hear that Quentin has won. But Jonathan Taylor, Antonio Gibson, Devontae Adams to start your team.
you're not mad.
Oh, it's solid.
Sure, I'm not.
You're not upset about it.
All right,
Yeah,
let's.
we respect you, but we also hate you. So
Yeah, we respect you, but we also respectfully disrespect you.
yeah, absolutely. Dirk Diggler.
Let's move on to Michaela. We got her down as the hometown hero. She loves the Chiefs. I think she would do anything for Travis Kelce. Dirty things. She loves the Chiefs, and if she has a chance to draft one of them, she's probably going to do it.
Sneaky Clyde first round.
I wouldn't put it past her.
Mac's either like she reminds me if she was an NFL player, she's Tyler Lockett because she's either putting up the highest numbers you ever seen with guys like Cooper Kupp, or she's down at the very bottom. I feel like it's always one or the other.
Yeah, she's boomer bust for sure.
Krim wants to know how many times Quentin's made the playoffs.
While you're looking at that, we could bring up Bean, Gabe, if you want.
Gross.
Bean, a new addition. How long has he been in the league?
I
2
think
years now?
he's 2 or 3 years this year.
So had a good team last year. Had a good draft. Then it just seemed like he couldn't put the pieces together. I think Ben could create a better algorithm to draft a team for him than he could actually draft a team. And I say that because he's just a genius. I don't know. Ben's almost like the Coach Brothers of our league. All the potential's there. Just it doesn't seem to make it click and be able to finalize it. Wait, he was in the semifinals last year, wasn't he?
That's disrespectful to Bean, but I understand what you're saying. No, I don't think he was. I had the bracket pulled up.
He was in the playoffs. He did fine. Ben had Devontae.
He made the quarterfinal, and West beat him.
Yeah, I mean, tough break because West should have been one of the top 2 teams. He shouldn't have had to play him there. So now all we have left is us 3 to talk about.
He faced the Dalvin.
And I guess we could just go in order. So that leaves me up. I don't want to talk about myself because that's weird. So take it away, gentlemen.
Kobe, what you got? Calvin Ridley in.
I don't care to talk about Colby's fucking team this year because we know it's good. I just want to talk about how Colby truly has had one prosperous fantasy year.
It was the best goddamn year out of anybody ever.
It had to have been the most enjoyable ride you've ever had.
Yeah, I went undefeated till the last game of the regular season, made it all the way to the championship, lost to Gabe. I've drafted MVP quarterbacks 2 years in a row. So who wants to win an MVP? Because I'll draft you on my team and you'll get it.
Kobe, I don't know. You said you're a running back quarter. I think you started it in the league. You were kind of like how different players have times where they like set movements in the league.
Mhm.
Like Steph Curry started the bombing of threes, things like that. You are the one that started the holy crap. We got to draft a running back early. You know why? Because Kobe took 5 running backs in the first. Was it the first 5 rounds?
I took 4 last year to start the draft.
And what was the year before that?
I don't really remember that.
You
But I'm
took
sure-
something
yeah.
nuts, like both years in a row, to where people knew if I don't do it, Kobe's going to take it, and he's going to be the worst person to trade with. Almost as bad as Kroom to trade with when that happens.
Yeah, but that's just because I know I have you fucked. And it hasn't worked out for me, so I'm kind of moving on from that. Trying to make myself a better brand in the league. I just
Yeah.
have been shitty except for one time, so there's nothing you can say about me that hasn't already been said, and I know it all.
Fortunately enough for our league, I think having the 3 wide receiver set makes the overload running back position a little not as potent. If you're doing the 2-2-1 and you just had 3 of the best running backs in the league, well, yeah, you're gonna win. You're gonna win most weeks. But if you got to find 3 wide receivers to play every week,
Yeah, if you're doing that with running backs now, you got to make sure they're hitting, and they have to hit hard.
oh yeah,
'Cause there's some-
Kentucky, bro.
There's way more good receivers than running backs, and that's just how it is. Let's go ahead and talk about Watkins now. We all hate to say anything positive about him. He's the reigning fake champion,
Throne of lies.
the cupcake COVID champion of the league.
Second ugliest player in the league behind Kroom. Second ugly. You just look bad. You're also the Sheldon of our league. You're like the encyclopedia. If there's
Don't
something,
make me defend myself.
we're just we're giving us your honest opinion. You surf the ocean on the toe of Julio. Other than that, I don't know. Tannehill lover.
Probably the most consistent player in the league, though, as far as being in the playoffs, being in the hunt for it every year. Also, probably, arguably had one of the best teams the league's ever seen, and also did not get it done. So,
Tom Brady played in Denver, Mile High, had the best team ever. Everybody was hurt. If I didn't play Tom Brady, I beat Kroom. But that was just, like I said, that was the same year that me and Kroom made an additional $200 bet, and I had the best team ever. Thought it was auto lock, guaranteed W, and
you let us know it.
league cost me $300, and I had to listen to Kroom.
That was a fun New Year's Eve.
well, the league is 0-2 on super teams, so if you have a good team, you might want to fuck it up like Wes.
Also, Kroom, if you're still on here, I looked it up. I went back 5 years, and I went back 5 years, and I only saw Quentin made the playoffs one time.
He's at the bottom of the league for a reason,
there's
and
2
I'm there
more
too.
seasons.
I'm not in the playoffs that much. It's just how it is. We lose. We're losers.
That's how it is.
Somebody's got to come in last. Thank God it's not me right now.
So you Kobe, you feeling playoffs this year?
God damn it, I fucking hope so. I don't know what I'll do if I don't, because I'm set up pretty good. We'll just have to see. I'm just thankful that football's coming back. Be in New York for week 1. I'm going to fucking just go crazy. It's going to be sick. In MetLife, week 1, Saquon's going to go for 85 and probably beat me single-handedly. We got Gabe, the waiver wire wizard. He lets us know about it. It's super annoying living with him and hearing him talk about it. He spends
Doug
fab
Martin.
on players that just end up being good.
And Doug Martin.
Klosterman's
Dude,
in the chat. He
dude,
said he's
so
feeling
here-
last again.
A dude on the fantasy
Play
podcast.
play the thing. Do it for Tyler. Tyler, this is for you.
You're a
A
dead
dude
cock.
on the fantasy podcast didn't start a player against Kroom in a championship game. I mean,
And I
Gabe,
still almost won. And Cooper Cup put up 56 points or something stupid.
I thought Michaela was the Cooper Cup owner when that happened.
Kroom was
Michaela-
that
I can
shit.
specifically remember Michaela having like 90 fantasy points from golf and Cooper one season.
I'm telling you, Kroom had. I came out of church and my phone was blown up. All sorts of good. I thought I was like, oh man, I went to church on Christmas Eve with my family. Now it's fantasy ship time. I get to know what the finals are, and everybody's telling me, dude, running back, where's your running back? Doug Martin got suspended for steroids or whatever it was. Get your running back. It was
No,
Thielen. It was Adam Thielen. That's who it was.
It was Adam Thielen. Yeah, that's true. Just so you know, Cock. I was just hyping your team up earlier today. So, if you have a position, you have two badass players in each position, and if you don't fuck this up, don't fuck up your first 7 rounds, dude. I think you can. You have playoff potential. I think you and Benjamin both. I'm looking you, Benjamin and Wes, looking at that 3 group right there that did the 1-1 split. Kamara, Diggs, Barkley, Allen, Eckler, McLaurin. I'd be excited.
Definitely excited about Eckler. I'm all in on Eckler. He was on my fucking badass team. Picked him in the 6th round or something because Melvin Gordon was a question mark. But I think we should probably talk about the DeAndre Hopkins situation and what Saquon's got going on. I think it would be crazy if D-Hop retired because of the whole vaccination thing. I don't know why the fuck he would do that, but I guess there's
no way he's going to do it this season. Cardinals have some hype around him.
If he's doing it, it's out of principle only, because I think if you're going to talk about like the risk it plays on your body, then I mean he's in the NFL. The CTEs, it's pretty obvious it happens. The receiver spot gets hit pretty damn hard. I don't know. There's a lot of you do what you want with your own body. I have a hard time seeing the NFL make people do something like that. I don't know though. It's like $15 to $20 billion industry, so they have a lot of money on the line. There it goes. There's 2 ways to it. I'm glad I'm not in that spot because that's a lot of money to walk away from.
I mean, I just can't. I thought COVID was over.
It's coming back. There's second surge or something.
I just can't understand it.
No, COVID's over.
I don't get it.
I don't want to talk. If we can't have a fantasy podcast without talking about COVID, unless there's somebody crazy that's out with COVID, fuck Cole Beasley and anybody and Mark Cuban, anybody that's talking about it, I don't want to hear about it. I'd rather.
I'm done with it. I just thought it'd be something we definitely have to talk about.
Tearing his Achilles.
Yep. Which leads us to Saquon being put on the PUP list. I don't think it's anything more than him just getting rest, not having to practice or go to training camp. Just trying to recover because he got a late surgery on that knee. I mean, I think it was like October before he got the surgery, so he's still trying to come back from that.
Yeah, I mean, I have a hard time having sympathy for anybody right now as far as injuries go. I'm still talking about Akers. It's just the reality of my situation. I mean, it changes everything in my draft. Ugh, it kills me. I'm fine. I mean, if Ben has Saquon, I don't think Ben should be pissing the bed or anything.
No, but shit like this is why you don't draft early, right? Like you don't lock your whole team in 2 months before preseason, so shit like this doesn't happen.
Well, so I will say I don't hate the idea of like having to lock your team in early because I feel like the risk associated with keepers is something you should take or like something that should be accounted for. However, I do think it would be cool to have like maybe like an opt-out feature if you lock in your players and they are not ready for the week 1 of the regular season that you can opt out of the pick. So no, Gabe wouldn't get to readjust his keeper and get CeeDee Lamb, but at least he would get a 6th-round pick. I think that's a cool feature, something to think about.
Definitely something to think about going forward.
Let's take
it to roll it. Let's roll it right into this season. We can.
Gabe, you're fucked here, buddy. Sorry, man. I mean,
yeah, it's a little too late for that.
To be dug out, but I do like the idea that something so you can lock your players in. And guess what? If you lose,
look, Ryan for a commissioner every year. Make it happen this year. You got my vote, buddy.
There's zero chance this happening this year. Absolutely zero.
Yeah, we got 23 other players locked in.
Now, if Kroon was commissioner, and let's say Kroon had Cam Akers, would the world change?
Yeah, Kroom. I think in that
Yeah, he would,
situation, he would just be undrafted. Well, I think
Undrafted.
that pretty much wraps up everything that we wanted to talk about. Pretty good episode. I don't know if we hit every point, but
Let's hold on. Time out. I want and one more couple. I want to hear both of it. That way we can come back to it. Who's gonna have the best draft? Ryan.
Who do I think is set up to have the best team after the draft, or who do I think will draft the best? I don't know.
Who's gonna have the best team after the draft? Yeah.
I'm gonna say Wes or Quentin.
All right, Colby.
yeah, I think Wes is probably the best team builder, I guess, drafting wise. Quentin's set up to do whatever the fuck he wants, and I'm not gonna sit here and say that I don't think I'm gonna draft good because I think I will. But in the past, I've had some questionable drafts, but I've really been working on it this year. So, but they're definitely set up better than me. So one of those guys for sure.
All right, I'm going. I'm locking in Ben. And you ready for it? I'm going in with the dark horse Bell. Bell's got a good setup. I think Bell could do something here.
Yeah, he's definitely got a good setup. We'll just have to see what he does with it.
And if I had to pick a worst draft, I'd say Ryan because we hate Ryan. So, yeah.
I think it's hard to pick who's gonna have the worst draft.
It'll be okay. I'm just literally going all in with the Michael Thomas pick. So
somebody's gonna fuck up though. Somebody's gonna do some stupid shit during the draft, and it might be me.
You never realize you're doing the thing that everybody thinks is stupid until the name's put up on the board and everybody's like, giving you the look. I put Zach Ertz there in a second, and I immediately got my ear was full of it.
It always comes back to Zach Ertz. He put up 5 points in the championship.
He set the receptions for a tight end that year. Pop, pop, ring, ring. All right.
Yeah, hey, and answer your question, Kroom, when I was talking about that rule, yeah, he would be off your team.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He'd be off your team completely. He would be available to draft from other players, and you wouldn't be able to fill the keeper spot in any other round, and you would just gain that pick back. So anyway, there you go. There's an hour and a half of bullshit from us. Brought to you by fucking absolutely nobody.
I think in the
next episode, next episode future, we're gonna have I think we're gonna have a post draft episode. We're looking for some potential new weekly segments, things such as who's our King Tilt of the week, the fuck you Kroom of the week, waiver warriors, looking at things like that. So
yeah, and I would like to do as the season gets going after every week, do a show or a segment in a show about the best and worst performances of the week, injury updates, stuff like that. And the people that we have on don't necessarily have to be from the league because it's technically just a fantasy football podcast at the end of the day. So we'll be on the lookout for other people to bring in, but definitely want to get some more of the league in here if you guys are interested.
Keep it together, you fucking stoned ass.
Kroom and Wes, I'm just looking at all the things Kroom and Wes said right now. This shit's cracking me up.
Yeah, it should be good though. I'm excited. I had fun though, for real. I think the draft is going to be sick.
Well, so the draft, we're all excited about the draft. I think the main thing too is week one, y'all are going to be out of town, but week one is going to be a party.
No doubt. I'm ready for it. Giants have the 4 o'clock game, so we'll be able to watch a little bit of half of the 1 o'clock game, so should be fun.
Sunday ticket can have my money.
Oh, yeah.
Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure.
Yep. GG's, everybody.
So, yeah.
Very good, very good. All right. I'm going to end stream, guys. See if I can't download this, and then we can upload it to some kind of podcast shit.